minded, and we'd love to hear from you. We run information sessions where you can find out more about what it means to volunteer for the Samaritans. If you're at least 18 years of age and would like to know more, please email volunteer@peterboroughsamaritans.org.
Desi Restaurant is open, so why not order now for your family meal tonight? We've got fish pakora, chicken pakora, charga steamed chicken, lamb and vegetable samosas, biryani, pizza, faluda, jalebi, gulab jamun, samosa chaat, fresh chicken and lamb handi, lahori channa and much more. We've got it all at Desi Restaurant. Special offer, nihari or paya with 1 naan or roti only £6. Special lunchtime offer from noon to 4 p.m. Chicken or lamb curry and 2 roti only £6. Mixed veg curry or tarka dal and 2 roti only £5. Order now at desirestaurantonline.com and pay online safely, or call us on 01733 555 795. Delivery available, or you can collect for a 10% discount. 298 Lincoln Road, Peterborough, PE1 2ND. Desi Restaurant, the trusted family favourite in Peterborough.
In the heart of Peterborough, this is Salam Radio.
Hi, this is your host Iram Shah with you for the next 1 hour on Salam Radio 106.2 FM. If you've joined the Winning Women Show, a show all about women. You can follow me. If you're tuning in for the first time, there will be a new guest every week, a new female guest. You can join in the show. If you're watching live on Facebook or the YouTube stream, you can comment live on the show and tell me where you're listening from, get involved with the show, comment. It would be great to have you get involved. You could also follow me, Iram Shah, on Facebook and LinkedIn to find out how I am setting a mark in the field of property, investments and finance. So today I have with me a lady, my guest, Kim Hendell. She is a SAS pension queen, but for me, a very dear friend, a matriarchy figure for so many newbie entrepreneurs, someone who picks me up during my low times. Now, Kim loves to help everyone around her, and she wanted to come on today to inspire other women and men alike. So let's welcome Kim. Hello.
Morning, Iram. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. We're all a bit faint here, is it me? Can you hear me now? Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I wonder if my intro was caught, actually. I'm just going to hello. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can't actually hear myself. No, I can't hear myself. Oh, I know what I've done. Sorry. I've been talking to myself for the last 1 minute. Okay, I thought I was a little faint today. Okay, let me introduce myself again. Hi, this is your host Iram Shah with you for the next 1 hour on Salam Radio 106.2 FM. If you're joining for the first time, this is the Winning Women Show, a show all about women. We usually get things right, but this morning. My name's Iram Shah. You can follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn to find out how I am setting a mark in the field of property, investments and finance. So usually the show's premise, the premise of the show is that we bring on new women, a new guest every week. And today I have with me Kim Hendell, a SAS pension queen, but for me, a very dear friend, a matriarchy figure for so many newbie entrepreneurs, someone who picks me up when I'm feeling low, which is, business, we have that all the time. Now, Kim loves to help everyone around her and wanted to come on today to inspire other women and men alike. So welcome, Kim.
Good morning, Iram.
Good morning. Good morning. I actually thought I was really faint. I thought maybe it's my ears. Maybe it's my voice.
So you thought you'd gone deaf?
Yeah. And then also I'll tell the listeners as well, so you might not have caught that bit. So if you're listening live on the Facebook or the YouTube stream, you can comment below and just say hi. Tell me where you're listening from. Tell me if you're listening on the car radio or local in Peterborough, 106.2 FM. You can call in and get involved. We're going to be talking about how to start up a business, why it's never too late, and all of those things. And I think Kim is going to be interviewing me as well. So this will be a first. Kim, is there anything else you would add to your introduction there?
No, I think you've covered most of it, and the rest of it will just come out naturally as we're chatting away.
Yeah. And so, Kim, can you paint a picture of what life was like before you entered entrepreneurship?
Right. Well, I've worked in corporate world for 1,001 years. Seems like it anyway. So I never had any great drive to be my own boss. Like with most people, you leave school, you get a job, and you stay there.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. I worked for Barclaycard for 28 years. And for the vast majority of the time, I loved it. Loved my job, had a great time there. But, then things started to change when they started to bring the American bosses in who really didn't care about their staff in the same way. So I left there, I actually had the opportunity to take their money and skip my way out of the building. So I took voluntary redundancy. That was great.
And some people are very fortunate to have that, actually. Some people look forward to that time, don't they?
So for me, that was fantastic. And then I worked in Peterborough for a well-known insurance company.
Okay.
And then I worked for a mental health care charity in Northampton. So that's what I did, and then had the opportunity again to make a change. So that was it. I made the change and got into property because it's something I've always wanted to do.
Right. And what was the trigger point for you, though, to have this sort of change of career path?
I had the choice to decide whether to, start doing something different or go back and do what I've always done. And as we know, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got.
Yeah.
So I had that opportunity then to sit there and, and consider my life and what I wanted to do with it. And it was a perfect opportunity then for me to make that change. And so property is something I've always been interested in. I've watched all the TV shows, all the changing rooms, all the homes under the hammer. I used to call it, for me, it was doing my homework on property, watching those programs. So it's always been there.
Right.
Just never had the opportunity or never took the opportunity.
Okay, because I was actually the other way around. I used to watch the 60-minute show, sometimes Homes Under the Hammer, but that was it. I used to just watch it as a show and think, oh, this is great. But I used to never, but I'd never envisioned myself, doing this. This is, so that's quite interesting. I've never actually had any interest in property at all.
Yeah, I've watched all the programs and I've always wanted to be able to, take an old wreck of a property and do it up and, put all fluff all the cushions in there and, and all those kind of things. Always wanted to do that. Always wanted to buy a chateau in France and do that up. And myself and my dad used to have long conversations about doing just that. And like I said, it never happened. And at the time, I left St Andrews in Northampton. I was then the same age as my dad when he died.
Right.
So he never had the opportunity to go and do all these things that he wanted to do. And that was kind of one of the reasons that made me make the change. It was do it now because you never know what's going to happen in the future. Yeah. So that was, kind of, my push. It was the right time and the right opportunity, and knowing full well that if I didn't do it then, I would never do it.
Yeah. And when you were wanted to take the plunge into into a new path of entrepreneurial life, what challenges did you face?
I faced, all the same challenges that everybody faces when they're looking to do something new. And every time you do something new, if you think back to the days when you first got into a car, and started to learn to drive, all of these new things all happening all at the same time, and you never think that you're going to cope, and it's the same with, going into a new job, learning something new and different. And I learned something new and different every day, which is one of the reasons why I love it, because every day's a school day. I learn something different. So, starting off, you wonder whether you're doing the right thing. Is it going to make you any money? What happens if it all goes badly wrong? Every single thought, rushes through your head. And the only way that you can deal with it is one step at a time. Face the problems as they arise, and they will. The only difference is surrounding yourself with people that know more about it than you do, because then you can go to them and go, I've hit this snag and I don't know how to get out of it. And within property, it's fantastic because everybody will help you out. They'll give you words of advice, tell you things that you didn't know or didn't understand. I've had people offer me their tradesmen to get me out of situations. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now if it hadn't have been for the support of all these other people.
Yeah, and that was very important. That's been a huge part of you, hasn't it, in your business life, to have a mentor to help you see through the strategy that you've chosen, which is HMOs. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So, when I say we, that's myself and my nephew. We've been running this business for 4 years now, and we took time to get ourselves educated. We had a mentor. That mentor has helped us out no end, and he now will be running my HMO units and dealing with the tenants on a day-to-day basis. That's payback for him. So, and I said, having people around you is a huge help in any kind of business. And to be fair, I don't know many other business types where people are as willing to help, support, give advice as people in property are.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I run my networking events, is so that I can, give back to people because people gave to me in the first place. Yeah.
And there were and when you took, so when you started, were there times? I mean, Chris is asking this. Chris from our group. So we share a common group, Kim and I, with a bunch of other lovely people who've been our massive support. We've been, I think, friends for over, and you make friends out of them, don't you? We're not just
absolutely.
Yeah. So Chris here wants to know that when you taking the decision to leave a career behind was a very bold thing to do. Have there been times in your property journey where everything seems to be going wrong and you think you've made a big mistake?
There are days, and especially on our first project. We, other than buying my own house, Tom at the time was 22 when we purchased the first property, and we turned that from a 3-bed mid-terraced house into a 8-bed all-en-suite HMO, house of multiple occupants. And believe you me, there were times when we thought, oh my word, what have we done?
And it's a large project to take on as your first, isn't it?
Yeah. yeah. Some people may have, may said it possibly foolhardy, but, we did it, but we felt comfortable about the house. But, there's all of the refurb things that we'd never been involved in before. So that was all new and scary. There was finding the finance to be able to do it. That was all new and scary. Mm-hmm. And every time you hit something that's new, it's scary, and you think, "Oh my word, what have I done?" Mm-hmm. And even with this project that we're finishing now, I'm still having my moments of stress and insecurity about finally getting it revalued and remortgaged to make sure that it's going to make out the money that I need to get back from it to pay off the investors. Mm-hmm. So, even though we've been through this process before, there are still lots of moments of uncertainty. Will this work? Will it get downvalued? What happens if the market changes? So, there is always, in any business, those oh my word moments when you're really not quite sure and you just have to get on with it.
Mm-hmm. And what transferable skills have you from your previous corporate lives have helped you see you through business life?
In a previous life, I've been a business analyst and a project manager. Mm-hmm. So obviously, project management helps with the refurbs. So being able to understand, the process flow. However, tradespeople don't always understand your process flows, and they will throw spanners in the work because they don't turn up, or you can't get the right equipment that they need, or plaster. If you talk to property professionals about this time last year, everybody was desperate for plaster. Right. There was literally none left in the country, and trying to get hold of plaster, which a standard thing, was an absolute nightmare. So so you have the transferable, some transferable skills, but the rest of it is basically learning on the job. What we have picked up as regards plumbing, stud work, plasterboarding, not plastering because that is a specialist skill, and try not to electrocute ourselves, those mm-hmm. kind of things. So there are things that you can bring naturally. Mm-hmm. My networking events, because I had to find out people's business requirements. So, being able to stand up in front of people, use a whiteboard, those kind of things, isn't new to me. So for my networking events, then standing up in front of people, running presentations, introducing guests, similarly to you, mm-hmm. It's not a problem to me. I can talk. I don't have any problems talking. Somebody once said to me, it's a shame I don't get paid by the word, but never mind. So, a bit like you, the skills that you have developed in your previous roles, mm-hmm. You don't always at the time think they're transferable, mm-hmm. but look at you now and what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's easy to forget, as individuals, the fact that you do have skills. You don't see them yourselves. because most of us aren't built that way. Just because we do something, we assume it must be easy and everybody else can do it. That's not always the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we've just had another comment in by Steve Shalaber. Hi, Steve. Thank you for listening in. Steve wants to know what advice would you give someone getting into property and wanting to buy a HMO, houses of multiple occupation?
My advice would be make sure you know why you're doing it, because one of the big concerns is people take on these things and don't fully appreciate, or the want or the need for it is the right kind of need, and therefore that will keep you driving forward all the way through the process if that need is strong enough. With us initially, we were going to buy a property, do it up and sell it on, because we didn't want to have to deal with tenants. That's not quite how the plan worked, and we changed our plan because needed to get a steady income coming in so that Tom didn't have to work nights in a factory. So, that was our first driver for taking on an HMO. Mm. So it was to get that monthly income coming in for him, so he could then manage the properties, the refurbs, and we'd have money to pay him. So you need to understand what your reason for doing this is, because if it's a strong enough reason, it will help you see it through. And then depends on how knowledgeable you are as regards either properties or being able to do the refurb work yourself, or at least know what needs to be done. And if you don't have any of those skills and knowledge, as we didn't, surround yourself with people that do know what they're doing and can help you out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I would suggest to Steve.
Yeah, and also one of the things that I've picked up on, Kim, is that when you've said that you need to know your why, some people they might just want a cash flow. I think I've been guilty of this. When I first started, I came in just for an income. I didn't come in to have a particular portfolio or anything. So I think this is key as well, isn't it? You need to understand what you want to gain from having a business. Is it a particular product? Is it a particular service that you want to offer? Is it something more passive, hands-free? What would you say to that?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. I mean, what was your big why for wanting to make the change, Iram?
So for me, it was financial independence. I wanted financial independence so that I can just live the best life. I'd already come from a corporate background. I'd already worked all those, taken 7 o'clock trains, got to work at sort of 8:30, 8 o'clock, done that. I wanted something bigger, and also, Kim, in a corporate environment, as you know, your income is determined by your performance, appraisals, all of those sort of things. And I was ready to make a change and do something for myself that where there was no cap on the income. It was determined by by my hard work, etc. So I think that for me was really important.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse than having somebody else who's there to judge you and what you've put into something, especially when you haven't been able to choose the job that you're doing in the first place. So as a project manager or a business analyst, we got assigned to specific projects. But I couldn't turn around to them and say, no, I don't want to do that project because it's not stretching enough. I won't learn anything new from it. I won't be able to shine, and then they measure you on your ability. Did you shine? Did you go that extra mile?
Exactly.
Well, you can't do that if you can't choose the projects or the work that you're going to be doing. So, and everybody else, full well that the people making that decision for you has been told, don't go wild with the money because, we're trying to keep everybody's increases down to a minimum. Mm-hmm. So, it's kind of stacked against you right from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I'm totally with you when it comes to, not wanting somebody else to judge me in a long line of other people when I wasn't in control of the work that I was able to do. So that's why I was quite happy to take their money and skip my way out of corporate life.
Yeah. And also, note also that you started off with some capital. That's also interesting as well, isn't it? So if someone's already working, it's important for them to either have some income coming through or they've got a lump sum or something to work with, because once you come into property, things happen, don't they? There's marketing costs, there's... like with everything else, you have to speculate to accumulate. So, you need money, finance, support up front, irrespective of the fact that they tell you can do it for next to nothing. You can, but you still have to have that next to nothing to start from. And, people don't realise how much a stamp costs these days. So if you're sending out direct-to-vendor letters, for example, they soon add up in costs. Plus the cost of the paper, the ink that you're printing it out on, envelopes, all of these things. There are costs to these which you need to fund. Yes,
so you have to have money there to start with.
Exactly. Yeah. Now we're just going to go on a break. When we come back from the break, we've talked about where Kim started from a corporate environment, starting her business. We're going to touch on a little bit more about some of the stereotypes that she might have faced. I've shared some of my stories as well, how I started, and the reason and why your commitment to start needs to be very strong. Do join us after the break, have a coffee, have a rest break, and I shall see you shortly. Do keep your comments coming in on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Looking for high-quality and effective laser hair removal using best-in-the-world laser technology? Here at the Beautiful Truth in Peterborough City Centre, we have the new Soprano Titanium Laser System. With its patented sapphire cooling tip and multi-wavelength technology, treatments are quick, painless and highly effective for all skin types and hair colours. Come and meet the team for a consultation today. The Beautiful Truth, 40 Cowgate, Peterborough. Call us on 01733 555540.
हाँ बिलाल, मैं हमारी ग्रॉसरी और हलाल मीट के लिए मुख्तलिफ स्टोर्स पर जाते जाते थक चुकी हूँ। पार्किंग हमेशा से एक मसला रहा है और मुझे आखिरी बार एक पार्किंग टिकट भी मिला है।
कितनी दफा बता चुका हूँ, 232 लिंकन रोड पीटरबरो पर पार्क फूड्स को ट्राई करो। ये कैम्ब्रिजशायर की सबसे बड़ी एथनिक सुपरमार्केट है और उनके पास 1 घंटे के लिए फ्री कस्टमर कार पार्क है।
वाओ, रियली? लेकिन क्या मैं वहाँ से सब कुछ खरीद सकती हूँ?
यस, fresh quality fruit, vegetables, dairy product, halal meat and poultry delivered every day. Really is a one-stop shop. Plus, Park Foods carry a huge range of brands from around the world and thousands of products in their daily use household range.
मैं अभी जाना चाहती हूँ। वो कब तक खुलते हैं?
Monday to Saturday, 8:30 to 8 p.m. and 11 to 5 p.m. on Sunday. और ये बहुत ही साफ और महफूज है और कोविड गाइडलाइंस को फॉलो किया जाता है। तो फिर चलें, शाजिया।
Park Foods. Come and see the difference. Desi restaurant is open, so why not order now for your family meal tonight? We've got fish pakora, chicken pakora, charga steamed chicken, lamb and vegetable samosas, biryani, pizza, faluda, jalebi, gulab jamun, samosa chaat, fresh chicken and lamb handi, lahori channa and much more. We've got it all at Desi restaurant. Special offer, Niari Opaya with 1 naan or roti only £6. Special lunchtime offer from noon to 4 p.m. Chicken or lamb curry and 2 roti only £6. Mixed veg curry or tarka dal and 2 roti only £5. Order now at desirestaurantonline.com and pay online safely or call us on 01733 555 795. Delivery available or you can collect for a 10% discount. 298 Lincoln Road, Peterborough, PE1 2ND. Desi Restaurant, the trusted family favourite in Peterborough.
Every 20 minutes, a child comes into care in the UK. Stars Fostering is a not-for-profit organisation set up with the aim to provide children in care with loving long-term families and support up to the age of 27. Our foster families receive excellent support and training. We are looking for new families right now. Could you open your heart and home to a child? If you have a spare room, contact us at starsfosteringcic.co.uk. That's stars with a Z, or call us on 07765 456 972.
Website salamradio.co.uk.
Good afternoon, good morning rather, not afternoon, sorry. Good morning, this is your host Iram Shah with you for the next half an hour on Salam Radio 106.2 FM. If you've just joined, you've joined the Winning Women Show, a show all about women, trailblazing women, inspirational women. If you're watching live on the Facebook or the YouTube live stream, you can comment, you tell me where you're listening from, just say hi. If you're listening on your car radio on 106.2 FM, you can call in on 01733 602 133. So today we have a guest with us. We have Kim Kendall. Sorry, I'm getting everything wrong today. Kim Hendell today with us, and we're talking about starting. We're talking about starting a business. We're talking about it's never too late. If you've got any questions, Kim is the expert. She's helped so many people, newbie entrepreneurs, on their journey, and it's been a massive support for me as well. Kim, one of the we were talking about before the break, you've left your corporate career, started life in business. The strategy that you've chosen is property, houses of multiple occupation. What would you, we talked about also taking the plunge into business life, having some sort of passive income or a good amount of savings to enable you to take up all those marketing costs, etc. Joanna has a question for us. She wants to know, how do you build your community and network when you're starting up?
It is difficult under normal circumstances, but as we know, within property, there are so many different networking events, events at Peterborough that we go to. You can build your network really, really quickly, and surround yourself with people that are doing property. May not be the same strategy as you, but just because I'm doing HMOs doesn't mean to say that I can't talk to people that are doing serviced accommodation, for example, and vice versa, because we all kind of have the same problems and issues, but from a slightly different angle. If you're starting up in any business, there will be business networking events out there that you can go join and speak to people in other types of businesses that will be able to help you. So you learn who the accountants are, you learn who the solicitors are, you learn who are the people that are going to be able to provide insurances, all these kind of things. They're all good networking opportunities out there, whether it's property or whether it's it's business, and you just go and talk to people. You don't need to be concerned about not knowing anybody or anything, because everybody that goes to these meetings are there to learn from each other and to be able to to talk to each other. So somebody will always come up to you and start a conversation. So that's the best way. People do find it more difficult to put it out on social media, especially at the start of doing something different, because they don't always want their families to be able to see it, and because your families can be some of either your biggest supporters or your biggest critics.
Yes. And it hits you hardest when when close friends and family say something as well, doesn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. And although they're probably saying it from a good place, at times some of the things that they might say don't come across as being the most supportive. Well, what happens if you fail, Kim? You'll get that kind of conversation from your family members. Your friends and colleagues will all be very supportive. That's really good, Kim. Well done. But your family members will come out and tell you straight. So it's nice to be able to surround yourself with other people that are going through or have been through what you're going through, because they've been there, they've come out the other side, they know it can be done. Whereas, your family members, let's say, they're there to, to look after you in the best way that they know. But if they've not been through this themselves, they don't know.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and we've had many a conversation about, different levels of support from, family and people around you, and because my family know me, they've known me for all my life. They know that I'm a bit of a joker, and I don't appear to take things too seriously most of the time. So they see that side of me, but they don't see the more business kind of side. They haven't sat next to me whilst at work for the last 20 odd years and actually see that I can be a bit of a Rottweiler when I want to be.
Yeah.
They think I'm a bit, airy-fairy and, a bit too light-hearted, because that's the home side of me that they get to see.
Mm-hmm. And it's scary to let them into that side as well, isn't it? The corporate side. Yeah, it's like, you just want to sort of, it's almost like I've got a split personality. So
yeah,
and I think this is just for the listeners to know. So Kim has said herself as well, we are real people in business who are still making our mark, but we're still we still haven't got to where we want totally. Is that correct, Kim? Can I say that for you as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're real people. We're going through these struggles ourselves. I've hid myself on social media from family and friends, and and then I'm having all these challenges, feeling like, okay, maybe I can be a little bit more open now. So these are real-time problems that we're having. I also want to add to this. Now, sometimes when we're looking for, we're looking to build our community, we don't realise that our own sphere of circle is actually really important as well. It could be even the mosque that you're going to, a church group that you're attending, the school mothers group. It could be the local village community hall where they have, because you need to build relationships, don't you, Kim? Business starts with
Oh,
building
yeah.
relationships first. And although I do attend business events, etc., as well, I realize my own sphere of circle is actually very strong as well. So I tap into that, so people get to know me. You then have those over the fence type conversations. What do you do? And then along the way, somebody may want your help and may not. But either way, you've placed yourself in a good place because people already know you.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, you are very fortunate in the fact that you have, that extremely large sphere of people around you, with going to the mosques, with the community that you have. For myself, I'm a lot more insular from that. I have my family, and then I've had to build my networks through going out networking, through different events, because I don't have the same kind of circle that you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you do tend to not ask people, what they do, when you're going to church or, the mosque or whatever, because you're going there for a specific person, but you don't, specific reason, but you don't know whether that person stood next to you is an accountant, and can help you out, or is in property and, needs your help, Iram, in finding the right kind of finance for them.
Yeah.
Because the work that you do, you are very specific in the type of finance that you want to be able to provide for people.
That's right.
And yours is built from a very ethical perspective. There are other people out there that aren't quite so ethical, as we know, but you are looking specifically at a niche because there is a need for that kind of finance done in a certain way, which is is fantastic. But unless you're out there having those conversations with people, they're not necessarily going to know that you can help them in that way.
That's right. And also, I feel as if some people may be limited. So I am at home with the kids at the moment, summer holidays.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're limited with time. I have found being virtually active has been so beneficial for me. And I really think that if people stay consistent with it, I started off, if I found it very difficult at the beginning. I felt like nobody was talking to me. I think I had about 200 followers. And I thought, it took me maybe half a year or so to build on that, be consistent, keep telling people what I do. But it's great for somebody who's probably working on a full-time job, or somebody who's just at home with children, or just anything where you feel as if you can't quite get out the house or your office, but you're looking to still get involved, build up your network and community. I would say tap into all the social media platforms.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I don't like social media particularly. I do it because it's kind of a necessary evil. But, and I do see it that way because, I am quite a private person. I don't necessarily like telling everybody, what I do, or, telling them much about me. But then that's because I come from a time before, cameras and social media. And so it's not a natural part of my life.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love having my photos taken. Yeah, and thank you for the picture that you sent across yesterday with the makeup and the earrings.
I've introduced Kim to the world of filters.
Yeah, yeah. Look, she sent me this photo of me with enhanced eye makeup and I've got earrings on, which I don't have pierced ears, so for the first time ever, I've seen myself with a picture of earrings. So that did make me laugh. Anyway, thank you for that. So yes, there are so many things out there, and again, we keep coming back to the, what is it I'm going to be doing this for? I left my corporate job at the age of 57 and, got into property and with my nephew because I wanted to give him an opportunity that he was never going to have. He wasn't in a position where, unlike me, having worked for Barclaycard for 28 years, I was going to get a great pension from them. He's never going to get that because it's not something that happens these days. People don't get, the final salary scheme pensions given to them anymore. So, I wanted to give him, an opportunity to be able to not have to spend the rest of his life doing rubbish jobs that he didn't like, So, because of that, that's how we got started, and the fact that I wanted to do something for me that I hadn't had the opportunity before. Sorry?
I was just going to say, Kim, when you said you started your business at 57, what stereotypes were you subjected to?
Well, quite a lot. And surprisingly enough, Tom also felt that he was being stereotyped. And, this comes from, your fear from within. I'm sitting there thinking, well, why on earth are people going to take any notice of me being, a more mature woman and knows nothing about property? Mm-hmm. And, Tom had a similar kind of fear in the fact that, at the time, when we bought the first property, he literally picked up the keys on his 22nd birthday.
Wow.
Quite a decent birthday present, I have to say.
Yeah.
But, and he's sitting there thinking, well, why are people going to take any notice of me because I'm only 22 and I don't know anything about property? So, these fears are real because they come from within you. But you either let them hold you back, or you can put yourself in a position where you can prove yourself wrong. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did. Tom now, he knows what he's talking about. He knows he can have conversations with people, with experienced tradespeople, and they will listen to him because they now know he knows what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm sure that when you started,
yes,
your family, your friends, and within you had a number of, concerns and issues as to how people were going to see you.
Yes, I did. I felt as if the stereotypes that I have faced was that I should just lead a bit more of a conventional, easy life. What I was planning on doing was very risky. But I felt like I was ready to take a risk now. I felt like I'd played it too easy and done all the conventional things. Went to university, worked in some great, London institutions in finance and banking, and I just felt as if I wanted to do something very different now. And I was lucky because it was actually I was on Facebook one day and I received it was just a seminar. There was a seminar going on actually in Peterborough. So I thought, okay, this is interesting. So I kept the ticket. And then I think that was June 2019 or 18, and I didn't get a chance to actually go that day. But when I called them, they said you can come back another time. So after about 6-7 months, I'd taken on some massive financial commitments. It was myself, 3 young children with me, and I felt as if, okay, right, I need to do something different. I cannot sustain the kind of lifestyle that I want to live now. I need to do something that's, like we were saying earlier, there's no caps. There's, my potential to earn would be a lot more. And I just wanted to live, have a really good work-life balance. So those are some of the stereotypes that I face. That live a conventional life, take take it easy now, don't take risks, etc. And one of some of the ways I overcame that is by surrounding myself with people that were in the same mindset as I was. Because being an entrepreneur, you really do build up a growth mindset. You're always evolving. You're always trying to do something different. It's really different to working when you're employed by somebody, because you're almost reliant on your employers to. But when you're by yourself, it can be quite a little bit overwhelming, because you're the director, you're doing the marketing, especially in the early days. You're in charge of everything yourself. So So you have to build quite a strong, multiple heads in order for you to carry out all those different tasks.
But I think, like with you, that skill was always there.
Yeah, probably.
But when you're working for, a corporate or somebody else, it's rarely do you get given opportunities where you can. Push yourself, do something different, take on responsibilities, because that's not what you're there and being paid for. So, but if you didn't have that ability in the first place, you wouldn't be able to then move on and take it. And most of us are more than capable of way more than we give ourselves credit for, because we work for other people, or we live with other people, and they take most of the decision making process on their shoulders. But as women, and I hate to say this in front of the guys that might be listening, we naturally can multitask anyway. Because it does make me laugh. One of my neighbours, she talks about her husband. He has to sit there and think long and hard about the stuff that he needs to do for work tomorrow. And he plans all that out. It's fantastic. But then she's working. She'll do all the washing, or the ironing, or the cleaning, or the cooking. Working out what they're going to eat, gets it ordered by, puts the food away, does all of these extra things on top of her job. But he has to sit there and think long and hard about what he's going to do for his job tomorrow. And with you, you have your businesses that you're running. You have your radio station, so you've got to find guests like me to come on and talk.
Yeah.
But you have 3 kids. You have a house. Yeah. Everything in the house and the garden all needs to be done, as well as keeping the kids occupied, and especially during COVID when they were at home. Trying to keep 3 small kids occupied and and taught, and still doing the washing, the ironing, the cooking, the cleaning, etc., etc. I really don't know how you or anybody else in that situation managed.
Yeah, and even now, actually, we're off summer holidays, so you might see some guest appearances. They're being well behaved. They're all reading something. I think Diary of Wimpy Kid. Yeah, that's keeping them busy.
Yeah. Well, it is difficult. Like I said, most women have that innate skill of being able to multitask and think about lots and lots of different things all at the same time.
That's right.
Because, these are the roles we've been brought up in.
Yes, and that probably answers Joanna's other question, which was how to, what advice would you give to somebody who's considering starting a business with family?
You have to make sure that whoever you go into business with is really the right person. I've known a number of people, whether it's family, friends, or a colleague, somebody that you've met, where it's like building any kind of relationship. You need to make sure that you've spent enough time with that person to know how they react, to different things, and also make sure that their values are similar to yours.
Mm-hmm.
Because that helps. I mean, I know that with you, for example, you had somebody who wanted to learn, to help out you in your business when you were starting it up. But they didn't have the same values as you. They didn't put in the time and the effort because, that just wasn't them. And it's very difficult, even with family, to make sure that you do get the right, synergy between the two people. And even more so with family, because if it falls apart, then, the ripples, spread far and wide with family.
Yes.
And can cause more problems. So you do need to make sure that, you know that person really well. With Tom and myself, it's quite spooky because we are very, very similar. We can both walk into a shop, say if we walk into a kitchen shop, for example, selling kitchen ranges, and we will both go and point out the same kitchen range separately to each other.
Oh, right.
That's the one that we're going to have in our HMO. We choose the same carpets, so we have separated our roles so that we're not doing the same jobs.
Okay, we're sorry to interrupt you, Kim. Sorry to interrupt you. We've only got about 40 seconds left on the show. That's gone so fast. Can you give us some parting words, Kim, please?
For anybody that's out there thinking, should they make the move? The answer is, if you're thinking it, then yes. But make sure that you surround yourself with the right people and that you get educated, because it could cost you a lot of money if you're not educated in it.
Yes. And feel free to reach out as well. My name's Iram Shah. We've just listened to Kim Hendell. Great having you, Kim. Thank you so much for listening in. We'll see you next week with